finally happening, guys. I am so happy to say that Venom the Duck is getting ranked up. In addition to Venom the Duck, I'm going to be ranking up one other champion as well to rank 4. But this is the big one. This is Venom the Duck going to rank 5. Not only is Venom the Duck going to rank 5 right now, finally, right? Pulled this guy a long time ago, said I wanted to rank him up, said that he's one of my favorite champions, and he is. But I'm going to rank him up along with Blade, actually, to rank 4. And then I'm going to take both of those champions into the Labyrinth. And we're going to do a little bit of a Venom the Duck Labyrinth run. There's actually a synergy between the two champions. And I also want to use Blade to take down the magic that's in Labyrinth. I'll be taking the easy path. And Venom the Duck, since he has a class disadvantage and, you know, he's going to be flooding that magic's power and all that, don't want to deal with the limbo damage, so that's where Blade comes in. But we'll take a look at the synergy in just a moment here. First, need to finish this level, this Venom the Duck level up here. Okay, wow, close. All right, whatever. All right, there we go. Venom the Duck. He's now 565. Very happy with that. So the synergy itself, before we even move on, the synergy that I'm going to be running, it's not the craziest synergy ever, but it is a plus 18% bleed debuff duration. And Venom the Duck's bleeds, they're actually a lot more serious than people know. So you have to get him buffed up first, of course, with the Furies that you get. But then if you take a look at his bleeds, it's about 2,000 damage over 5.5 seconds. Now with deep wounds and with the blade synergy, and in addition to that, there's actually a synergy that is on Symbiote Supreme. We'll go ahead and pop on over and take a look at that real quick as well. Actually have it all lined up in a quest already. So if we hop into Labyrinth, and we could check this out right here. There's a synergy where all the symbiotes, for all the symbiotes, increases the duration of all bleed debuff effects by 20%. So plus 18% from having Blade on the team, and plus 20% for having Symbiote Supreme on the team. So now we're increasing the bleed durations by 38%. In addition, we're amplifying Venom the Duck's attack, and each one of Venom the Duck's bleeds, once I have 3 Furies up, it's going to deal in total about 12,000 damage. So it's going to be pretty sick. I'll be sure to include some highlights of that. Let's go ahead and rank up Blade, though, because right now Blade, he's only rank 3. And I do want to get him to rank 4 for the time being. Eventually, I would love to get Blade to rank 5. I still think he's a great champion. He's slightly forgotten about today by some of the, I don't know, from some of the players that I feel like already ranked this dude up years ago. So he doesn't get much mention from some of the YouTube folks. But he's still a great champion. Just slightly overshadowed by maybe Nick Fury and Aegon and the likes of that. So, but yeah, Blade, happy to have this dude at rank 4. You guys don't need to see me feed this ISO. Let's speed this up. All right, there we go. Blade 455. A little bit late to the party, but he's here, man. He's here at rank 4 at least. This should be good enough to handle the magic inside of Labyrinth. That's the only reason that I'm ranking him up right now. And like I said, eventually I'll take him to rank 5. Some of you may have noticed that I did have a skill rank up gem for that previous rank up. The only reason that I did not use that is because I actually have a bunch of tier 2 alpha expiring at the moment that I want to make sure that I can use. This all came from Act 6.4, so that was a good chunk of it. Now I've got a little over 17 days to decide the next round of rank ups, but there's going to be some big rank ups coming soon, man. This is 14 right here, and then we have even more, like, oh my goodness, man. So many rank ups need to be done. But alright, that'll be it for the rank up portion of this. Just want to make sure I hit my level up goals real quick. Yeah, we're good. Okay. Alright. I'll have some highlights. I'm gonna go do a live Labyrinth run with Venom the Duck, and then I'll include some highlights to round out this video. All right, the Labyrinth stream is over, and now I want to break down a few of the highlights from the run, starting with some kind of issues that I had with it. So you can see the first fight took a lot of hits. This was expected. It was 576 hits. This is Venom the Duck going in there, without any buffs to start. I did build up 3 in that fight, of course, but you could only build 3 per fight. And then by the time I got all 10 buffs, then I ran into some bleed immune opponents, and the whole strategy here is to make Venom the Duck strong and make it so that his bleeds are a very significant portion of my damage. And without the ability to bleed the opponents here, Unstoppable Colossus and regular Colossus, they were pretty frustratingly long. Now, there is kind of a built-in system here to make it so that Venom the Duck doesn't totally suck against bleed immunes. He has degen, but it cuts the value of the damage down by 25%, and then it also doesn't get the duration increases that you'd get from deep wounds and the other synergies that I had that increases the bleed duration. So it's a pretty big loss in terms of damage when going up against bleed immunes. Then we come to this fight against Falcon here, and I'm going to show the whole fight minus the special 3 animations, because as you can imagine, popping the special 3 a lot. But I want to give you guys a sense for the type of damage that you can do in these longer fights without making you suffer through all those animations. So hopefully the video is not too jarring as I make these cuts. It's not something I normally do. But yeah, you can see the bleeds. So to break down the types of buffs I have a little bit more, and just how the bleeds work and all that stuff, I went in here with 4 power gains. Right now I have 5 showing. There we go. Now it's down to 4. You get a temporary buff that pops up for every 100 of your charges there. But the normal buffs that I have 4 power gain, 3 fury, 2 crit, and then 1 regen. I only wanted 1 regen because that's pretty much all I needed to recover the chip damage from blocking, and to balance out the poison damage from the suicides, which I'll show the masteries after this. But that's why I only went with 1 regen, and I want to pump everything else into damage. Because once you're at full health, why do you need more regen? You don't. I just want more damage. So the power gains was that I can pretty much always have the buffs active by popping my special 3s. That's the other thing about stacking more regen too. If you stack more regen, you're likely taking away from the amount of power gain that you can have, and you might have more regen each time the buffs activate, but I'd rather just have a higher uptime on the buffs themselves. And then the crit, so Venom the Duck has very low base crit chance, but with the masteries that I have and the two crit buffs that I have, not including the dexterity crit buff, Venom the Duck, he actually had about a 45% crit chance, which is pretty high compared to most champions. What they're able to do. So yeah, about a 45% crit chance, and every time you land a critical hit, you have a 55% chance to bleed the opponent. So it's not a guarantee, but that's how you get these bleeds. So that's why the crit buff is something that should not be overlooked. I know people really like to stack the attack, and hey, I like to stack the attack too. Like I said, I have 3 of them here. But it's very important not to underestimate the value of not only the power gain, so you can keep these buffs up more consistently, but the crit as well. In shorter fights, the power gain might not be as important. You might not need 4 of them. You could just get to a special 2 real quick and end the fight. Actually, no, even in shorter fights, I do want that power gain, right? You want to be able to use your special 2 while all the buffs are up. But anyway, this is kind of my long fight setup here with Venom the Duck was this set of buffs. And overall, without having the special 3s, this fight took about 4 minutes. With special 3s included, though, Yeah, it was like 7 minutes. So just to give you an idea. And I knew it was gonna be slower than the normal champions, you know, compared to some of the fastest champions like Aegon and Ghost. I knew that Venom the Duck was not gonna be able to compete with them. But I figured the trade-off was the amount of health that I have. Because look, I'm able to sustain basically full health as long as I don't slip up too badly. 262 hits in that fight. It's not too bad. I was well within the first enrage timer and all that. Now here's the problem though. You know, I go into the next fight and like I said, the trade-off. I'm thinking everything's good. I'm able to keep this full health bar. And as we pull up to Gamora here, I'm gonna skip ahead in just a moment. I get crushed. I get absolutely crushed. And Gamora, she's not the only one to crush me, but yeah, go ahead. I'm actually gonna slow it down and try to explain what happened here. So, you're gonna watch me dash back. She dashes in. I dash back. I think there's pretty good distance between us, but man, that special two just it connects anyway. And it caught me so off guard and one shot me. I had full health. Venom the Duck has very high health. Look at my face here, man. look at my reaction to this because I'm thinking I'm good. Venom the Duck's got 35,000 health, base without any sort of boosts or anything like that. I'm like, oh yeah, this is why Venom the Duck is so good for this. Turns out, yeah, the trade-off is not so worth it, and it still is much better to use other champions. Here's me just getting wrecked by Colossus. One of them was totally my fault. This other one, he evades and just single combo. That's it. Craziness. And then I even had a rough go here with Blade against Magic. Because I don't have my Blade awakened, and I also didn't have an attack synergy at all, so he didn't get the extended rage timer, and it just didn't really work out. So I ended up calling the run there. You know, I already completed Labyrinth 100%. I didn't need to do a full path. My plan was a full path, but since things weren't working out as well as I would hoped, I ended up just stopping before I had to dig into some real item use. But I also did pop open a 5-star crystal, which I will show you the results of that in just a moment. But first, the masteries, in case you were curious. This is the mastery build that I was running throughout Labyrinth. Honestly, Suicide Masteries, I don't think they're very good for Venom the Duck, but because I was relying on a special 3 rotation, I figured I might as well pop them on, gain a little bit of an attack increase. But he already gained so much attack from the buffs, and in shorter fights, you do want to use special 2s just to end the fight like pretty much immediately with your first set of buffs. Because of these things, you don't really want to have the suicides on. And when I take Venom the Duck in the incursions, which I think he'll do much better in the incursions, I will drop the suicides. But this is the build that I was working with for Labyrinth at least. This is my defensive setup. And then here's the utility that I was running as well. So that's it for the masteries. Let's get into the crystal opening real quick. Just one. So you guys were such good sports for hanging in there throughout the run. I don't normally like to do this, but I'm going to pop a 5-star. If I can get a Doom here, or a Ghost, or a Warlock, or an Aegon, or Mr. Fantastic I see in there, any of these things would be great. And what we're actually going to land on, though, is... Hey! Okay, that's actually pretty sick. Okay. Sweet. Oh, man, now I kind of want to rank her up and test her out in the Labyrinth just for the hell of it, too. All right, well, cool, man. My efforts in Labyrinth were worth it. This was the reward. A lot of you guys don't know this. A lot of you guys don't know this about Venom the Duck. But you only have to do half a Labyrinth run with Venom the Duck in order to pop open rewards from it. The only champion in the entire game that's like this.